Hello and welcome to Introduction to Nmap uh, Scan Techniques. Now, Nmap is a very powerful network exploration tool that can be used to scan and map out network infrastructure. It offers various scan techniques that can help cybersecurity professionals identify open ports, detect potential vulnerabilities, and gather important information. Now, before we start exploring different scanning techniques in this video, we need to understand some of the common states reported by Nmap when scanning a network. Now, first of all, without any options, Nmap can scan 1000 ports on the target. Now, when you see something called open, this means application is actively accepting connections. Closed means a closed port is accessible. It receives and responds to Nmap probe packets, but there is no application listening on it. Filter means Nmap cannot determine if the port is open because of the packet filtering, such as firewall. Unfiltered means port is accessible, but Nmap is unable to determine whether it is open or closed. Now, when you see open filter, simply means Nmap unable to determine whether a port is open or filtered. Open port may not respond. Closed filter, again, Nmap is unable to determine whether the port is closed or filtered. Now, let's look at the first step here we need to do to the first step, I need to know what version is running in the system here. So we know this is version 7.93, okay? Now, one of the things I like to do every once in a while to do an update, apt update, okay? We let it run, okay? So it's fully updated. Now, another option here, I would like to do full upgrade -1. Again, it's fully upgraded. This is because I've done it recently. Now, there's also another option I would like to explain it, which is time. There's T0 to T5. What are these? These are 6 timing templates. You can specify them with, with the option -T. And their numbers, from 0 to 5. Or you could use their name like T0, paranoid, T1, sneaky, T2, polite, T3, normal, T4, aggressive, T5, insane. Now, the first two are for ITS evasion. Polite mode, you know, which is slows down the scan to use less bandwidth and target machine resources. Normal mode is the default one, okay, which is T3. Aggressive mode speeds scan up by assuming that you are on reasonable, on a fast and reliable network. Finally, insane mode assumes you are on extraordinarily fast network or willing to sacrifice even some of the accuracy for the speed. So this is one of the options. There's also another option to say dash capital letter F, which is for fast scan. And you will see me using it during the video. Now, let's, we have here right now in the second or in the first thing now we need to do, let's look at the TCP SYN scan. Now, if I say nmap dash ss, I'm going to use scanme.nmap.org. No, so This is what we call a TCP SYN scan. It's fast and stealthy, not troubled by firewalls. It does not complete the three-way handshake. Now, here is something that you need to know. Now, if you receive something says open, this means that the probe response was TCP send acknowledge response. That's that's what carried it. Yeah, here you can see that here. This means we received TCP send acknowledge response. Now, uh, if it's closed, that means we receive TCP reset response. Okay. Now, filtered here, as you see it over here, no response received, even after retransmission. Okay. Now let's look at another option. Okay, which is connect the scan or the full scan. Okay. This is the default scan, by the way. The output of a connect scan is not that much different from the SYN scan. So we let it run here and see how it goes. Okay, so there's not much difference between this one and the previous one. Now let's do something else. Like we want to scan UDP ports dash SU. So I'm going to use the F here because I wanted to speed up the process, and I'll be scanning the metasploitable 2. Let it run. Let's see what's going on. Okay, I typed here wrong. It should be capital letter U. Okay, typo. Now, it's called UTP scan for UDP pause and can be slow. Not every time the payload is empty here when sent from Kali Linux to the target. And usually, empty payload is considered invalid. Open ports rarely respond to empty probes, resulting in something you will see it like open filter together. Another reason to receive open filter is that there's a firewall on the system. This means what? It means that Nmap cannot determine whether the port is open or filter. However, any port scanning with a protocol-specific payload, not empty like the one before, okay, will most likely receive open. You can improve the result by using divergent detection, which is we will cover it a little bit later. This way, so right now I'm gonna pause the video because it will take some time for it, and we come back when the result is out. Now here, you see that? Exactly what we said here. There's open filter, and open. Right now we got little more information. Now we know which ports belong to UDP protocol are currently open. Okay. Now let's do something else. Okay. Now Nmap comes with the different options. Like for example, uh, dash in here for no scan, they call it, or dash F, okay, that's for finish scan, and dash X for what they call it, the Christmas scan. Okay, so let's run this one and give a quick description about it. Now, these three scan types are exactly the same in behavior, except for the TCP flag set, in the probe pockets here. The advantage is it can sneak through certain non-stateful firewalls and packet filtering routers. Why? Because firewalls block TCP packets with the SYN bit set and acknowledge cleared. Therefore, the finish, the no, and the Christmas do not include the SYN bit. Also, they are stealthier than SYN scans, but they can be detected by modern IDS. Also, some operating systems, such as Windows and some Cisco devices, reply with the reset RST, whether the port is open or closed. This will cause some ports, to be labeled as closed. However, this type of scan works with Unix machines. Another issue, by the way, these scans do not distinguish open ports from filtered ports. And so what we're gonna do right now, okay, we're gonna add dash version to it, okay, SV for version detection, and we're gonna run it. So look at the output here. You could see now we're having much more detailed information. Now I'm gonna run the same one here, but without, but I'm gonna make it fast. Okay. Now notice the difference here between scanning using uh, dash SV, okay, and notice the difference between the without SV. Now, for example, here you could see port 81 and 80 and 80. It give me a little more information comparing to here, which is we don't have this information. Okay, now let's look at 8009. Okay, now I know exactly what type of Apache server here. Okay, so you could see that using this option here, you know, uh, we get more detailed information, but keep in mind this will not be a stealth scan in this case. Okay, so let's clear this one and let's look at something else. We will use right now the acknowledge scan nmap-sa, and let's do dash T4 fast, and let's do the scanme.nmap.org, and let's check out the result. Now, the acknowledge scan, this scan is differs because it does not determine open or open filter. Basically, it is used to map firewall rules to determine whether they are faithful and which ports are filtered. If there is a firewall running, we will have different output. Keep in mind that the acknowledge scan can differentiate between stateful and stateless uh, firewalls. Here you can see the output that is filtered. So most likely there is a firewall running at the other end. Okay, so this one. Let's look at another option. Now, in this example, we're going to use the W, which stands for Windows Scan. Now, Windows Scan is exactly the same as the Acknowledge Scan, except that it exploits certain operating system detail, implementation, so it can help you differentiate open ports from a closed one, rather than always, printing unfiltered when a reset is returned. See, again, the word filter, as you see it here on the screen, this means uh, most likely a firewall is enabled. Okay. Now, if you received open instead of filter, this means that your Kali Linux received TCP reset response with non-zero window fill. Now, if it here says closed, this means that the TCP reset response with the zero window field. Now, as I've stated, there is not much difference in the output between the Windows scan versus the acknowledge scan. Now let's look at another technique used, which is I'm gonna do dash SO, okay, which is means IP protocol scan dash F, and let's do this one over here. Now, the IP protocol scan option sends IP packets with different protocol numbers, such as TCP, UDP, ICMP, etc., to the target host. And based on the response received, it can determine which protocols are supported by the target host. However, you also have the option to use dash P option for specific ports, or even dash capital F, like what I've done for very fast scan. So we'll let it run against the metasploitable 2, and we'll come back to it when it's fully output. So here's the output. So right now we know that this machine has open protocol 1 for ICMP, protocol 6 for TCP, and 17 for open UDP protocol. Now, again, let's try, for example, the Windows machine here, which is Windows 11 machine. Now, I got the same result. So basically, I could see that I have 3 protocols that are running on both machines: the Metasploitable 2 and the Windows 11, uh, ICMP, TCP, and UDP protocols. Let's clear this. Now let's do something interesting, which is nmap dash dash scan flags. Okay, now scan flags, I'm going to use, you could type SYN this way, finish, for the TCP flags. And here I'm going to keep port 80 against this machine. Now I got very quick result here. You could see that now I know there's HTTP open, port 80. Now, keep in mind that customized TCP scan flags allows you to specify custom TCP flags to be set in the packet, during the scan. This option can be used to bypass firewalls or intrusion detection systems that are configured to filter or block traffic based on specific TCP flags. Now let's try something else. Let's try the aggressive scan. I'm gonna move these. This is very aggressive scan. Now, it enables OS detection, version detection, script scanning, and traceroute, often used when you want to perform a more thorough scan of the target host, including identifying, the operating system, services running, and their versions, and also potentially identifying vulnerabilities. So it might take some time, so let's pause it. Okay, so let's see the result. It took a while to finish, by the way. So let's go to all the way up. Here you could see the result. It told me that there's an open FTP, uh, this FTP server, and there's a video, by the way, explain to you how you could exploit the VSFTPD using Metasploit framework. This allows anonymous FTP login. So you can see that there are plenty of interesting information. Here I can see the open SSH 4.7. And here I know that there is open port for Telnet, open port for SMTP. And here I have Apache server running also at port 8009. Okay, you can see that. There's also another HTTP, which is Apache Tomcat. And here is also another result for SNB running and how long it took it, the trace route, about 2.38 millisecond, simply because they are close to each other. And the NetBIOS name here, you can see this is Metasploitable version 2 running here. Okay, clear. Now let's do something interesting. We need to know, like, if I want to know the reason a port in a particular state here. So I could do, let's do something quick. Okay, dash P1, or just make it scan the whole thing, and then dash dash reason. Okay, run. So you could see here it initiating ARP ping scan. Okay, and then it did DNS resolution, and it scanned Windows 11 ARM. Okay, and it discovered open ports you see here. Okay, and this is again, this is stealth scan. Now we know which ports are open, and pay attention to the TTL 128 because we're gonna do another scan for against the metasploitable machine, and you could see the difference here. Now notice this, and the metasploitable machine has TTL 64. Okay. So the TTL varies depending on the version of the operating system and the device being scanned. The default initial TTL value for Linux or Unix is 64, while the Windows is 128. Okay, you can see that 128 for Windows 11, and the other machine here, this is for the Linux machine. Now, there's also another option. I could do scan only for open port dash P1 to 1024. So what happened here? It scanned only the top uh, ports that are specified here, and it give me a little more detailed information. The reason why, because I added dash V. Dash V means increase verbosity level. Now, if I remove the dash V, okay, see that over here, I will have less detailed information here. Okay, now there's also another option you could add. Okay, called Pocket Trace. It shows Pocket Trace. Okay, it shows all. It shows all the packets that were sent and received. You can see that. Send and receive from the machine to here. Okay. Also, this is one option. Clear. Now, let's say I want to save my work into a file. Okay. We could always use dash SN. Okay. Result dot text. Oops. Just got to remove this one. Okay. Now cat, or let's see, list here. Here I see TE. My mistake. Let me just clear this one out. Okay, let's do it. 138. Okay, list. Now we can see the result file. Cat result dot text. You see the output, and here's the output right here for my scan. Okay, now there's also another option you could do. Okay, clear. Uh, Here I could say, for example, if I want it in a format XML. Okay, so the only thing I have to do, remove N and add capital letter X, let it run, list, and you can see the result here, dot XML. Now, let's remove everything in the folder. Double check, it's gone. Okay, clear the screen. Okay, and instead of this, okay, I'm gonna ask Nmap to output in a different, in three major formats at once. So simply add, let's say dash O, capital letter A, enter the result, list, and you can see that here we have three different results here. So now let's use the different switches in one line. You can see for yourself that we could do a lot of things within that, not only this. So we use dash ST for TCP connect scan, dash SV for, figure out the version of the services, dash PN, which do not do ping at all. Okay. Now I want to specify port from 1 to 1024. Okay. And let's make it fast. Okay. And then you could say O A final against 192.168.0.138. Let's run it. Now, here's the result uh, of the scan. We can see that it gives us information about the open ports, the version for it, and what type of machine. And everything was output to a file called XML in the in the final file in different file format provided. Now, one last thing I would like to show you in that Nmap dash H for help, and if you type less, because it will help you to scroll through the pages, it provides you with a lot of information that we covered quite a bit information about it. And like if you click here, you will see every possible option and switches in the help. In case if you forgot something, you can always go back to the help. Now, I hope you found this video useful, and thank you so much for watching it.